We're going to make chocolate macaroons. You will need 2 1/3 cups of powdered sugar, 3 1/2 cups of finely ground almond powder, 4 ounces of egg whites, 4 1/4 ounces of dark chocolate, and then 1 1/2 cups of granulated sugar and 1/2 cup of egg whites. We're going to cook the sugar with 5 tablespoons of water, or 1/3 cup, and we're going to cook it at 240 degrees, so you need a thermometer. So now we're going to begin simply by making the syrup and cooking the sugar. So we take the sugar, we add the water, and now we can bring it to a boil. You prepare your egg whites next to your mixer. Make sure that the whisk is in the bowl and everything is ready. You add the egg whites so that as soon as your temperature reaches 240, you can turn on your mixer. In the meantime, we're going to sift the powdered sugar and the almond powder. This really doesn't take very long. And you put it into a large mixing bowl, and now you add the egg whites. The chocolate, you will have melted it in a bain-marie, or in a microwave. When the chocolate is melted, you mix it all together. You will have a batter that is relatively dense, but very smooth. You then, of course, check the temperature of your sugar. Your sugar has reached 240 degrees. You start up your mixer at not quite maximum speed. Now you check the temperature of your sugar again, 245. You take the sugar off the heat and you add it into the egg whites. Be careful to pour it in very slowly and reduce the speed a bit. When the bowl is cold, you stop mixing. And then you take your egg whites and you mix them into your chocolate mixture. You mix it well, take a second spoon, and incorporate all of the meringue into your initial mixture. But we're not done yet. Now you're going to continue to mix until your mixture becomes extremely glistening and shiny. You take a pastry bag and fold about half of it back. Fill the pastry bag with the macaroon mixture, like this. Cut the end off the pastry bag with scissors. And now you begin to set your macaroons down onto the baking parchment paper. Be sure to leave enough space between them, because they will spread. And try to stagger them, because it will be easier and you will be able to put more macaroons on your baking sheet. You see, I finished the first baking sheet. Take a look. The mixture sticks to my fingers, so it should stick to your fingers. We're going to let it dry for a good half an hour. I've preheated the oven to 330. I'm going to check the macaroons. Good, so I put them in the oven at 330 degrees. Now, if all goes well, in 4 or 5 minutes we're going to begin to see the macaroons start to form tiny cracks. When you see the cracks appear, you open the oven door to let out the excess moisture. And then you let them bake for 4 or 5 more minutes. Your macaroons shouldn't be too hard, not too dry. They should be moist. When they're done, you take them out. You slide the parchment paper off the baking sheet so that they stop cooking. Then you remove them from the parchment paper and place them on the rack. Once they have cooled, wait until they're cold, you can begin to fill them with ganache or with whatever you wish. Jam or whatever you want to fill them with. We're going to use ganache. You put the filling in the center of your macaroon, slightly raised in the middle. You take a second macaroon and you turn it in a circle, which makes the filling look very nice. Once they're filled, don't eat them right away. I know it's hard. But don't eat them right away. Put them in the refrigerator. And really, try to resist the temptation for at least a day. Let them rest so that the flavors, the tastes really blend together.